Okay, we are back. First thing we're gonna do is turn in our quest to Bateron here. Okay, I cannot take this next quest yet. I need to be level 4 to do so. Which means I need to continue on my Arcanist quest. Now, I can double check where exactly I need to go by highlighting this quest and opening it up in the journal. The journal tells me I need to go to Lower Lanasia. If I look at my map here, I can see that down here on the south is an exit to Lower Lanasia, so that's where I need to go. On the way, I'm going to do something I neglected to do on my last video. I'm going to start activating Ethernet shards. In the major cities, you'll find these shards all over the place. And as you activate them, you'll basically create kind of a teleport network that'll allow you to get around the city real quick. It's kind of important you do that. Oh, I got mail. I got a lot of mail. It's all of my loyalty rewards for subscribing to the game so long. Every time I start a new character, I get all the rewards. I'll pick those up off camera. Okay, now we are in the field and ready to battle. I am looking for 3 wharf rats, 3 oroi, and 3 little ladybugs. Those big Qs on the top of the heads tell me those are quest targets. So, as an Arcanist, I'm mainly going to be attacking with magic. My actual weapon is a book. Whacking your enemies with a book isn't going to do much, so I'm going to use magic. In this case, I'm going to use the spell Ruin, which is the only spell that I currently have. That's one. Now that I've leveled up, I've learned another spell, Bio. From here on out, I'm going to be using Bio quite a bit. Bio is one of the most important spells that an Arcanist/Summoner has, and you're going to be using it up to level 60 and beyond. It puts onto the enemy what is known as a dot, a damage over time. It's a poison effect that will continue to hurt the enemy for a period of time. So you open up with Bio, and then finish them off with Ruin. My hunting log yet? No. We'll talk about the hunting log later then. Oh, now's as good a time as any to talk about the enemy names and the symbols beside them. See these three river toads? They're currently at level 4. And next to the level 4, over to the left, you see this that little blue icon. That means they're non-hostile. If you don't attack them, they won't attack you. You can just walk right by them and they won't do anything to hurt you. These guys are a little more powerful, and I'm being stupid and not casting Ruin. Or not, or Bio, rather. I'm also being stupid and not dodging that AoE. That big orange box that the enemy cast in front of it is the area of effect of its attack. You don't want to be in it. That time I knew I could kill it beforehand. Alright, I'm going to take a moment here. I do want to make that maximum size. Will interrupt the casting of your spells. So you generally don't want to move if you don't have to, but if you're about to get hit by a nasty attack, it's probably better you move. And no, it is not necessary to jump around everywhere you go. Doesn't stop me from doing it. One useful skill, however, is the sprint ability. Now you have two resources for attacks. You have MP, which is that middle bar at the bottom, and you have TP, or MP is magic points, and TP is tech points, or technique points. Actually, I'm not sure what it's officially called. For a caster, like an Arcanist, the only thing you're going to be using TP on is sprint. If you are playing as a more physical character, like a Lancer or a Marauder or the like, a lot of your moves are going to be fueled by TP. So if you use your sprint and burn through all of your TP that way, you're going to find you don't have any left for your moves. So you don't want to sprint as much if you're going to be in combat and you're using a physical fighter. If you're using a caster, however, you sprint all you want. There is really no reason not to. Alright. I am going to go downstairs. I'm going to head back to the Arcanist Guild, and this time I'm going to remember to activate a few Aetherites on the way. Not that way. 4 years playing this game, and I still get lost. If you're looking for an expert walkthrough, you're probably watching the wrong video series. I mean, I have a lot of experience and I know this game very well, but I'm not exactly endgame raid material. I highly recommend the video series by Mr. Happy. He does actually a very good walkthrough as a healer, specifically White Mage. And he'll teach you a lot more than I can, but hey, if you want to continue watching these videos, I am glad to have you. I'm making them for fun, and if you're having fun watching them, then more power to you. Ah, good. Now I get the hunting log. Alright. So, won't be able to do anything else for the guild until level 5. I am currently only level 2. Did I attune to this one yet? No. Okay, hunting log. It's going to be here in your menu under logs. Well, I want to look at something first. Okay. We'll get to that in the screen later. The hunting log. Each of the 9 original classes for Final Fantasy XIV have a hunting log. For each 10 levels, you get there are a number of enemies on the field that you can hunt down for experience bonuses. As you can see, a couple of these are enemies that I've already fought for that first quest. It's always a good idea as you're leveling up to do everything in the hunting log, as it's going to give you pretty good experience rewards as you go. You need to pass all 10 log entries in each level tier and get up to that next multiple of 10 levels to unlock the next rank. So, in other words, to start taking on the rank 2 hunting log entries, I'm going to need to clear the first 10 and get my Arcanist up to level 10. So, let's get started. Now, I could have used the Aetheryte to teleport to the central plaza. In fact, I probably should have, but sometimes I just like walking, or running, as the case can be. This really is a beautiful game world, and it can be entertaining to take it in every so often. When you get late in the game, you're going to find yourself teleporting everywhere and taking the most efficient route to get to the various areas. And there'll be some areas you frankly forgot were there, because there's no reason for you to go there. So we're going to take in the sights a little bit as we play. This time I'm going to take the other gate out of town. Well, we'll talk about that later too. Now, when this game first came out, you would have to basically go to all the individual areas in each region to map the region out. Since the release of Heavensward, when you enter a region for the first time, it allows you to map the entire region. So you can see here, the entire region of Middle Lanasia. Ooh, Fates. I may have to do some of those. We'll get to Fates later, too. There's a lot to learn in this game, especially first starting out. It may seem overwhelming at first, but you'll catch on pretty quick if you're taking this on for the first time. Alright, after I'm done with this wharf rat, I'm going to take a step to the north and take on a Fate. Alright, Fates. Free active time events. Their timed events take place in a certain region as denoted by those circular areas on your the word I'm looking for is mini-map. A lot of them involve killing a particularly powerful enemy or killing a lot of enemies in a certain period of time. In this case, I'm just killing all these pugils I can. Every pugil I kill... Oh, crap. I don't know if I can take 3 of these. I'm going to withdraw. As I get out of range, they'll break off and go back to their normal position. That little yellow mark above those wharf rats indicates that that enemy is part of your hunting log. As you can see, the bio has actually been doing a pretty good job at whittling down their health. Probably should have waited for my HP to come back up, but I think I can take this guy. As you can see, though, every time I kill one of these enemies, the meter rises over on the left. I'm sorry, the right. When that meter fills up, we've completed the fate. And again, as you can see, multiple people can play on it. Ideally, a lot of players will work together to finish these fates, though some of them can be completed by yourself. There's a trick you can do as a caster, which I'm basically trying to do as I'm playing here. It's often referred to as spell sliding. If you are almost at the end of your cast, and you move, you won't actually cancel your cast. It can be very useful to get out of an AoE just in time and still get your cast off. Proper timing on when to move and when to stay is an essential part of playing a caster. Quest is done, and I have gained a level. Those pugils are probably going to run away, and they'll get off of my enemy list for too long. Okay, I've learned a couple moves here. Physic, which is a basic healing move, always useful. But more importantly is this move. Summon. I am going to have my first summoned creature in play. Say hello to Emerald Carbuncle. Alright. If you will excuse me, I need to do some settings here. It is extremely important that I make some changes to my bars. I'm going to go to Pet Commands, and I'm going to take this ability called Obey. I'm going to set it right there. The only reason I'm setting it right there is because that's where I have it set on my main. And I will just know that that's where it should be. I'm going to set Bio here. I'll leave the other two where they are for now until I get more moves. So now, when I go into battle, first thing I'm going to do is use the Obey command. It basically is going to command Emerald Carbuncle to attack the target, but to not use any special moves unless I specifically command it to. Very rarely am I going to actually command it to do special moves. Sometimes the special moves will actually interfere with what the tank is trying to do when you're running dungeons, so it's generally a good idea to make sure that your pets are only doing their basic attack. So Obey is an extremely important ability to have set. So I'm going to order Carbuncle to obey and attack this Wharf-Rat here. Then I'm going to start using my own attacks on it. You'll notice that it dies a lot quicker. Alright, I've completed my Arcanist log for Wharf-Rat and got a rather big chunk of XP for it. Now I'm going to do the same with Little Ladybug. Okay, what else do I have? I'm currently in Middle Lanasia, so I can find the Lost Lamb there. Windsprite says it's in Lower Lanos, but I'll bet there are some here, too. Puck Hatchlings are in Middle. Nesting Buzzards are in Lower. Bogies are in Middle. That's in Lower. So you notice all of these are either in Lower Lanasia or Middle Lanasia. It's because these are kind of the beginner areas for basically for any class that starts in Limsa Lominsa, which is the Arcanist and the Marauder. And technically the Rogue too, but you can't actually start as a Rogue, so... So really the beginning of the game, if you're not doing all the side quests, the beginning of the game is mainly going to be doing your hunting log to get up to level 5. Well, actually, I could start playing the main quest at this point, but I'm going to get myself up to level 5, do my level 5 Arcanist quest, and then proceed with the main quest. Now, I am playing with the controller. This can also be played on a mouse and keyboard, whether you're playing on a PC or on the PS4, as I am. I learned to play on the controller, and that's what I do. Some people prefer controller, like I do. Others swear by mouse and keyboard. There are advantages and disadvantages to each. As you can see, I'm getting my levels pretty quick by doing these, or by doing my hunting logs here. As you can tell, I'm relatively new, well, actually completely new to the creating internet video content. I'm hoping to gain a little more confidence and a little more professionalism as I continue. For now, bear with me, and we'll run this game together. Puck hatchling. Arcanist/Summoner is actually a pretty good solo class, mainly because of the summon. This will become far more evident when you get the other summons later on. Level 5. That's a level 7 fate. Should I? I will try. The problem with a lot of these fates that have a lot of enemies like this is you gotta watch out where they spawn. Make sure you're not pulling one halfway across the room and then have one spawn right on top of you. For fates like this, I usually like to stay near the outside of the fate radius. That was a mistake. As you may have noticed in the last Fate that I played, a lot of the enemies in Fates are aggressive. So if they spot you, they will attack you. What I said about enemies spawning right on top of you? There's another player. I wonder if the player's going to join the Fate. Looks like another Summoner, or Arcanist. You'll note that I use Summoner instead of Arcanist because Arcanists usually become Summoners or Scholars. That's the only one that can split into two. We'll get to that later, too. The point is, technically now I'm an Arcanist, but I have the intention of becoming a Summoner. So I'll probably say Summoner when I mean Arcanist. lot of enemies came into the area for that. Got a fair chunk of XP for that. Let me take a gander in this cave. I know this is where the bogies hang out. They're level 7 and I'm level 5. I think I can take them. Let me finish that off. Oh, I learned Ether Flow. That's a handy ability. For right now, Ether Flow, all it does is gets you a little bit of MP back. Later on, it becomes considerably more useful. We'll get to that when it becomes relevant. Alright, I've only got one more enemy here in Middle Anas, but I think I'm going to save that for later. In fact, I think I'm going to save the works for later. I'm going to use my return ability to take me back to Limsa Lominsa. It'll just save me a short walk back to the city gates. Then I believe I am going to call it a day. And when we return, we will take on a couple new quests and get this story moving. Until then, this is Lord Xenon for Violet Willow, signing off and hoping you have a wonderful day.